question for you. Webbot hit in the making, I think. First, let's go with the story. Zero Hedge covering it amongst other places too. A team of Chinese researchers from the Dalian Institute of Chemical Physics at the Chinese, keep in mind Chinese, Asian, Academy of Sciences in Liaoning has transformed copper into a new material almost identical to gold, according to a new study published in the peer-reviewed journal Science Advances and first reported by the South China Morning Post on Saturday. Professor Sun Jian and his team of scientists blasted a copper target with a stream of hot, electrically charged argon gas. The fast-moving ionized particles smashed the copper atoms. The atoms cooled and condensed on the surface of a collecting device, producing a thin layer of sand. South China Morning Post said each grain of sand measured a few nanometers, or a thousandth of the size of a bacterium. The researchers placed the material in a reaction chamber and used it as a catalyst to turn coal into alcohol, a complex and intricate chemical process that only precious metals can handle efficiently. The copper nanoparticles achieved catalyst performance extremely similar to that of gold or silver, Sun said in a statement on Saturday. The results proved that after processing metal, copper can transform from chicken to phoenix, claimed Sun, who was not available for comment. Copper has a similar weight and looks to gold. Well, I don't know how close copper and gold are. Believe me, not that close, but whatever. Says that they have a similar weight and looks to gold. The research paper notes that the new material based on copper can replace gold and silver in the manufacturing process of electronic devices, which requires significant amounts of precious metals. Oh my God, Webbot hit. And I thought Cliff went a little more detailed and maybe another report than what I'm about to read you. But I started searching back from the last report that I got from him. I've got all of his reports pretty much. And I just started searching for the word copper. Copper. And nope. And then I got the January 2017 Alta report. Oh, there's copper found twice, I think. And in case you're wondering, it is the Alta report 2017 January. And it is on page 33. Now, it's right as soon as Space Goat's Farts subsection starts. So what I'm going to do is read a little bit before and after that to see where this goes. I only skimmed through it a little bit before I decided, all right, let me go read this to my subscribers on YouTube because this is very interesting. But again, I think somewhere Cliff High, and it may have been one of the Three Amigos chats, it might have been somewhere else where he got into the details, where he talked about basically it replacing those electronic fundamentals that gold and silver have held this whole time. That's the key to this. And I'm like, oh my God, that's something Cliff said. But I don't know that I'm going to find that exact part in here because I just skimmed through it, but we're about to find out. If that part doesn't come up, what I'm about to read you anyways is going to be pretty surprising to you. But if that specific part doesn't come up in this, he said it somewhere, or maybe one of y'all know and you can just post it in the comments. The data sets are gathering, what the heck's on my chin? Like a little something on my chin. Oh, it's probably a piece of Christmas tree pine needle. I just took the Christmas tree out, dragged that sucker out, freaking pine needles everywhere. It's kind of a big tree. Got to cut it into 4 pieces so the waste management people don't complain. You know, it's got to be 4-foot sections and cut in whatever. The data sets are gathering in very large numbers around the planet Mars subset. These data sets are clustering around Mars, but in a number of different subsets. There are sets for officialdom freakout as civilian Mars expedition is created and funded. Some of the data would seem to suggest that an individual who will take down banks through smart currency trades is going to be a serious patron of the idea of humans back to Mars. So this is a crypto guy. This is very interesting, isn't it? Other sets under officialdom freakout include rumors that they fired something back. So we send something, what's this? Other sets under officialdom freakout include rumors they fired something back. They who? These latter sets are about an internet meme that will emerge in 2017 to the effect that Mars launches rocket to Earth. So that's who sent something back. But we're past 2017. Again, this is why the Webbot, you listen to what it says, try to remember some of it, some of the really interesting stuff, file it away for a while, and then one day you'll be, oh my gosh, I thought that was supposed to happen back in the, oh no, yeah, $600 silver, I thought that was supposed to happen. Exactly. I believe those days are coming, my friends, but not yet. So we're in 2018, almost 2019. Haven't heard anything like that, but again, just bear with me. There are some sets suggesting that the rocket may actually be language referring to yet another Mars rock that comes down as a meteor. Yet more Mars sets include supporting positions within the Antarctica sets discussed elsewhere in this report. In these supporting positions, we find very curious references to Hawaii, and more specifically to Kona, K-O-N-A. The ideas within this sparse bits of details is that personalities connected to Kona will be emerging into global visibility as a result of the Mars focus. No further details at a meaningful level, except to note that there are many long-term sets that are reinforcing the idea of a decades-long connection to some aspect of the upcoming focus on Mars. Mars is also featured in a number of sets within Space Goat's farts that are forecasting great discoveries, and that many of the searchers are going to become greatly famous as events, especially the secrets revealed metadata layer, play out over 2017 through 2022. Many of the compulsive researchers now toiling will apparently be swept along into global fame by their work and its timing relative to secrets revealed over 2017. On the trail of the NUMO, N-U-M-M-O, NUMO, the data sets have several new areas within the Space Ghost Farts entity that show the development of a liquid copper machine that will be able to provide power as well as motion. What is very interesting is that the NUMO, the ancient aquatic beings that engineered the human form so many millions of years ago, are said to travel between the stars by using a liquid copper engine. This engine is described in history as being two horns on either side of a liquid copper disc. These new sets have the liquid copper engine being announced, at least in its early mathematics and science breakthrough over 2017. Again, we're almost at the end of 2018, but just stay tuned. Remember the article I just read you, the Chinese, Asians, they just did this thing, okay? There are some hints that the first practical application will be in late 2018, launching the mini generators of the New Electrics subsets into the wilds of humanity. These sets are suggesting that the point of origin will be Central Asia, which is likely within a China pop area. Excuse me? Continuing on. The many, many new data sets for Antarctica and what we are calling the Discovery have added a great deal of supporting sets for what is being labeled as precious technology, with the precious word being used in a similar emotive value manner to its use in the phrase precious metals. This use of the word precious and related to the technology is centered about and supports energy as the primary supporting set for precious. In these sets, the data suggests that energy production and distribution in ways and means that are new to modern Earth are the primary prize. Additional note, or so the powers that be think at this point, for the pending invasion of Antarctica. So let's read that without the little note. This use of the word precious is in relation to the technology is centered about and supports energy as the primary supporting set for precious. In these sets, the data suggests that energy production and distribution in ways and means that are new to modern Earth are the primary prize for the pending invasion of Antarctica. In other words, this sounds like we're going to get word, incredible, ancient yet highly technologically advanced. Technology's there. We finally hear about it at some level, and all of a sudden, all of us want to, people are wanting to take trips to Antarctica immediately. We've got to see this stuff, That's what I get from this what I read you. And I want to remind you of something. It just popped into my head. There was a picture in which I think they only showed the shadows and the guy was like hiding behind the picture. Like they were holding a sign in Antarctica at one of the little bases, the little substation, I should call it, in Antarctica. And it looked like they could have been military people, but they were like blacked out, hidden, holding a sign that was about Q, something about QAnon. That's the kind of people you and I need down there to make this stuff come to light. The data sets are showing fleets of both airplanes and ships that are going to Bivouac, whatever the hell that means, on the coast, Bivouac, Bivouac, on the coast. In several locations, these sets are also describing international contention over the discovery, at least at the outset, which is forecast as causing a number of incidents and scientific skirmishes over many issues with the excavation of the ancient civilization. Our data sets are forecasting that the ancient civilization predates modernity by at least 500,000 years, or at least so will be reported when the facts and speculative thinking starts to come out from the press conferences that will be held late in 2017 or early 2018. Again, throw away the date sometimes on this webot stuff and just listen to the message. Because, again, I'm talking to you now about this copper discovery that they just did with this scientific experiment that he basically said, look out for, it's coming from Asia, China, whatever. And I just read this to you. This is like breaking news right now. The data is presenting a few details about some of the language that will be coming out about the discovery, as including creeping electricity, which is a form of energy distribution that may not actually involve what we know as electricity, as the data sets have the electricity word supported by unknown and not yet understood. Without regard to the type of power, the data sets are suggesting that the distribution system for it will yield hundreds of new technologies to be derived from the creeping electricity, which is seemingly a reference for how the electricity moves over the surface of walls to the delivery point. Okay. Many of the Antarctica sets with new data for the discovery are also filled with disk language, as in flying disc or UFO. There are several dozen temporal markers for UFO in Antarctica that are within the larger sets from several years back, which we labeled as Flying Nazi Antarctica Economy. These sets, to some extent, are now resolving themselves into supporting sets that have the economy and economic subsets, providing support for the precious technologies and wealth economic boom. Stop right there, Jay Snip. You want Greg Marino called me again today. Today's Wednesday. Me and him have been having some good chats lately about the markets and everything. Love that guy. You want to know? You want a reason that the economy could absolutely turn around and go on a freaking roar, a tear? I just read it to you. Now I'm not going to sit here though and say, "Oh, in 2019, this stuff's coming out for sure. America's going to lead the way." I'm not saying that, but we got years before all this comes really unraveled, right? Is it possible that this new technology, all this stuff, is going to revolutionize everything and cause a crazy economic boom? This would never happen without Donald Trump in that White House. I will tell you right now to your face. I don't care what you think. So whatever's going to come of this, he's going to be totally for it. And he will probably use it, again, for his own advantage, which I'm fine, go for it. To get reelected, maybe. Again, if we can have it that soon, we'll see. But to use it to say, look, America is going to lead the way again. You know, we're making America great again, and this technology is going to help us. Boom. So anyways, let me continue. Again, as was forecast many years ago in the Alta reports, which are the Webbot reports, the data sets are still maintaining that earthquakes in Antarctica will be forcing out the inhabitants. Sorry, who? Or what? These sets for earthquakes in Antarctica have been in place for years in the longer-term data sets and are now being seen in the shorter-term data, while still growing supporting sets within the longer-term data. This is very likely due to the very long duration impact on the global economy forecast to emerge from Antarctica over these next few years. Other new sets have data for preserves that are not referring to jams or jellies, but are referencing warm air preserves that will be discovered to be deep in the ice of Antarctica. These preserves are quite fascinating in the Space Goats Farts entity, as they are supported at many different levels, including Terra entity and Markets entity. Further, within these two entities, the datasets are supporting the warm air/water preserves as being visible to Global Pop over 2018. There are still many sets within the new data showing the discovery, the discovery is for Secrets Revealed moment as being in 2017. Again, we're past that. We're almost in 2019. But it's funny, it was in 2017, and even a little bit in 2016, where we started to hear this Antarctica thing started coming out. What the hell's going down there? We're hearing these interesting wavelengths showing up on radar and emanating from there, energy things, right? However, the data shows that distribution of the knowledge of the discovery will not get the details out into the wild of humanity until mid-2018. Again, we're already past that. There are a number of new sets for radiation that are piling up in supporting positions for SHIELD within the Space Goats Farts entity. The SHIELD is clearly an anti-space alien form of protection that is apparently being created by deliberate radiation releases. These may include Fukushima. The data sets would have some of the powers that be trying to create a shield around the northern hemisphere by deliberate release of globe encircling radiation. These are more longer term sets, but we do have some shorter term values showing which suggests that this information will be moving closer to us over 2017. The data sets are showing that a major emotional threshold is about to be crossed in early 2017 as the independent Mars photo observer community is going to focus in upon what will be undeniable intelligence. The undeniable intelligence sets have communications and writing and numbers and other symbols as well as clear intent, all within the supporting sets. The idea coming up from the new immediacy data within these sets is that the online community of Mars photo hunters will, through some collaboration, be raising the amperage and the frequency of the global pop voices involved in distant space exploration, as well as speculation. We can file this one under the label of Martian to Alien, us, first contact. Whoa. Other new sets within Space Goats Farts entity, we have sets for new personalities who will be rising in within Global Pop as the space industry begins to uncloak. These sets are discussing a new cadre of entrepreneurs who themselves will be uncloaking insofar as the new ethos and new urgent focus on a very wide swath of what can be called serious woo-woo. These sets bring out images of new physics and also include sets for a form of temporal dynamism that is not described as time travel, but rather time as energy. Yet more cross-connected sets between Space Goats Farts entity and the Markets entity forecast that the energy activities of humans are going to be overturned as the new science of field dynamics breaks out into the open. These sets are forecasting that this science is a propellant within the innovation wave just now beginning within Global Pop. And if you guys remember this one, still more growth in the existing data sets for the Space Alien Cruise Ship Flyby. You remember that one? Where he talked about basically like them, almost like a cruise ship, but a craft. You know, we can see them, they can see us. You know, hey guys, you know, like not that they would maybe wave, we would wave. Maybe they don't use that signal, but you know, like, oh hey, look at that. Okay, yeah, cool. And they're like checking us out, and they go by. It was an older Webbot thing. So he's saying, hey, yeah, we haven't forgotten about that. There's still data supporting that. Further new supporting sets are also gaining new data. These new sets are suggesting very much a holiday and festive emotive tone will be surrounding this flyby or local excursion, at least on the part of the humans who witness it. There are a number of sets for the crime of the century language that does not include banks nor government as the perpetrator, but rather does have some very interesting Space Goats Farts entity data sets for a ray gun that will be used in the act of robbery. Now, I know we've been hearing about this ray gun that caused the fire in California. You know, not necessarily a robbery, though. What's that about? A true sci-fi world descriptor set has the crime being viral news as the criminals will be using advanced technology to steal unknown material. These sets do not, as a whole, make sense. The data would have the ray gun being exposed in the crime of carrying off some unknown mass. The mass or stuff will not be showing any significant monetary value, nor does it show in the data as being easily sold, nor traded. In fact, the material to have been in the future reported as stolen is apparently only exposed itself due to the public nature of the ray gun crime. So in other words, someone sees something floating, giant thing floating across the street. What the hell's that? The ray guns making this thing move. I don't know I'm not sure what he's saying here. Some of these sets are in immediacy values, and the majority are in short-term sets, so it apparently will make the news in 2017. Which, again, I don't remember hearing anything about that. So, just looking at something here. New mathematics. A new element that is described as fields or field dynamics or field energy. Field energy. Field energy. Structures could be, what's this? These structures could be suggesting that the field energy dynamics technology are to be leaked from the breakaway civilization that exists underground within global pop. The language for such things as surface dirt or surface effect, noise, and other language is a form, whatever. There's so much more I just want to keep reading, but the data sets have the Antarctica discovery providing more than new technologies and economic boom period. If Donald Trump can play his cards right, you want to bring manufacturing and stuff back to America? Oh yeah, we're going to now manufacture what you might have recently thought was alien technology, but it's not, it's ours. We know how to use it now. We're going to make the most incredible things. Gasoline cars, electric cars, with batteries. Electric cars, yes, but no need for a battery. Field wave energy will propel them, Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're years from that, but again, I think we're going to get there, considering I'm recently 41 now. I think SNP will be around. Many of you will be around as this happens. Our kids will certainly be around. I think we're in it for a pretty interesting time as for humanity. Again, but it was critical that we destroyed the New World Order, the globalism, and Trump is pretty much doing this single-handedly. Because those people would never allow this stuff out. It'd stay hidden. We'd be messing with oil still. $2 a gallon gas. Oh, it's back to $3.50. Oh, shoot, it's back to $4 again. Enriching the elite once again. It's time. It is just time. The Mayans said this, 2012. It's not this destruction event. I've told you before, I'll find all these obscure documentaries where they're going to talk to the, ancestors of these people, the people to talk about their ancestors. And I'm waiting for the doom and gloom story. And they're not even talking about it. Oh, come on, you guys are Mayan. What's left? And what about 2012? No. And this was before 2012. That's why I was checking it out. And they were saying a period of time is coming. This time everyone's talking about is a time to do away with the old ways, the dark ways. It's time to move forward. And in order to move forward with the new ways, the old ways must be undone and thrown away, basically. In so many words. And that is exactly what we're seeing. Starting, just look around at the deep state being dismantled one by one. FBI agent and DOJ agent personnel one by one. Gone, 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 gone. He's going to deal with these criminals, and we are going to make America great again. And we are all going to come up with a new song that sounds like this.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
No, Mr. President, I want some more of that. 2 scoops, please. Thank you.